Hello, welcome to CIS 3285, the software design course. Just a quick overview of Unit 0, where we're going to just kind of give you an overview of the course and get your materials prepped. First, this is a video watching this about this course. This course really targets design patterns and advanced software development, so you should have completed Java 1 and Java 2 before taking this course. We'll be using C# in this course rather than Java, but there's a lot of similarities between C# and Java, and we'll be looking at those and getting you up to speed on C# quickly for this class. We will be looking particularly at what are called the solid design patterns here, and so there's a couple links to the solid design patterns and what they are here. And you can read some of those. But our textbook and much of this will be linked to the solid design pattern. This is an acronym, and there are 5 design patterns, starting with the single principal pattern that we start first. But it'll take us a while to get to the solid stuff. That'll be kind of towards the second half of the course. We have to build up till we get there. We'll be using some professional technology. We'll be using Microsoft Visual Studio, which is a well-known professional IDE. Get you some experience with a well-known IDE. We'll also be using Git and GitHub to store our source code and submit projects. So it gives you a little experience with GitHub. And using that. Some students find it helpful to make a GitHub, some of their projects public, so that future employers can see their GitHub repository also, and we can talk about that towards the end of class for that. In general, we'll be doing weekly learning activities. These will be kind of step-by-step activities I'll walk you through. There'll be both a video and an in-class version of this. This course is actually being taught in a hybrid format, so we have both online and in-class students in this class. Every class period I will be Zooming it live and recording it and posting the recordings to Brightspace here. You're welcome to do this either in class or online. So learning activities, again, there'll be a video posted that you can follow through step by step, or you can just come to class and we'll go through the activity in class for that. Assignments, there'll be weekly assignments. These are built off the learning activities, but they're more to be worked on your own outside of class. Because this is a hybrid class, we'll be doing some discussion posts every week that you have to post, and these are really kind of to set up our own little version of Stack Overflow for the class, where you can post questions on the assignments and get help on the assignments. And you're required to post every week to the discussion area. Also, there will be 2 quizzes throughout the course. There'll be more essay type quizzes to help you discuss what you've been learning. There'll be a number of reflections. We'll bring in a number of guest speakers in this class via Zoom, alumni who are working in the industry, and so these will be reflections either on those, or there'll be some other options for other types of reflections for you to do. And then at the end of the class, there'll be a final project that you'll be required to do for that. So that's the general layout of the course. Now let's talk a little bit about the textbook. We'll be using this adaptive code, agile coding with design patterns and solid principles, the second edition of this text, which is listed here. It's been around for a while, and you can get it used or new, paper or electronic, from just about anywhere, so choose your spot for this. If you have trouble getting it, there's a link to a Chapter 1 version of it here to get you through the first week or two for this. Okay, so just get a copy of the book, electronic or paper or whatever, so you can read through it. Like I mentioned, we'll be using Visual Studio for this, so you'll want to download Visual Studio. By default, Microsoft pushes you to a 90-day trial version of Visual Studio. That's a 3-month trial, and this is a 4-month class. So if you do that, you'll right around Thanksgiving, when things are getting really busy, your trial will end and you'll be locked out of Visual Studio. So I suggest one of two options. There's a free community edition. So this is a entirely free version, so you can download that, but make sure you look directly for the community edition of Visual Studio. And not the free trial. Also, with our agreement with Microsoft, you can actually get the full Enterprise Edition here, and you can have the download instructions here. And I'll have hopefully another short video I'll try to add to this showing how to download and install this Visual Enterprise Edition, or either of these. So, okay, and then so that's our Visual Studio. Once you've downloaded Visual Studio and then have it installed, you might want to download the source code. Oh, one other quick point is that this requires a Windows machine to run Visual Studio. If you're on a Mac, please contact me and we'll set you up with a virtual machine that you can use for the class with Visual Studio installed on it. So simply contact me during the first week of class if you don't have access. Now, if you're an on-campus student, you can just use the lab computers. They all have Visual Studio 2019 installed, so that's won't be a problem. So. Now, if you want, you can download the GitHub, the book's GitHub source. You don't have to do this, but some students find it helpful, so I just want to point you to that. We'll be using a fair amount of this source, so I'll provide you separate links in the project or in the assignments and stuff to the sections we want here. As I mentioned, we'll have weekly discussions here where you can do a discussion. And the first thing we want you to do is just do a simple introduction, something about yourself, say something about what you are or what you're doing or that sort of stuff to introduce you to your other students, particularly the online students. And I also find that on-campus students often don't know each other that well, so it's a good time to just do that. So just do a quick post and say something fun, something about your professional or personal life, something about your family life, where you are geographically, something you did this summer, anything like that. Just do a normal share stuff. And I'll post something to that also to share what I've been doing. I've had a busy summer. So, okay, so that's a quick overview of this course.